Steve Gamache here with another Chef Knife to Go quick look product review. And what we're looking at this time is the Okeya Shidogame or White number 2 Hairline Bunka 185mm knife. So the core steel on this line is Shidogame or White paper number 2 reactive high carbon steel from Hitachi. The site says they take it to around 60 Rockwell, so it's not super hard, so they'll give you a little bit of forgiveness to the durability aspect of it. The construction is 3 layers, and on either side of that harder reactive core steel, you've got a reactive iron, soft iron cladding. So this is an all-reactive blade. The weight on the knife, these will vary a little bit in dimensions and weight from knife to knife since they're handmade. This particular one's 125 grams or 4.4 ounces, so it's nice and light and nimble. The edge length is about 186 millimeter or about 7.3 inches, so it's a lot of Bunkas are smaller. They're in the 165, maybe 170 range, so this has got a little bit of length if you're looking for something kind of in between. The overall length's about 12.9 inches. These are pretty thin, so the overall spine thickness at the coming out of the handle is about 2 millimeters, and I measured it about halfway down. It's about 2 millimeters as well. And then it pretty much just holds that until you hit, you hit the turn here at the reverse sword tip, and then when you start hitting the grind about where this, this faux kasumi, the sandblast finishes here, that's where the grind starts. It starts thinning out, and this baby gets really skinny right at the tip. I don't know if they're all ground this way, but this tip flies through stuff like onions. It really did a great job. So I hope they're this thing, because that's a nice high performance tip on it. Let's see, blade height is 47.5, so plenty of height for board clearance. And then let's talk about balance point, as long as we got it in that position. So there's your balance point. These handles are pretty darn light. These Howood plastic ferrule handles. So in this case, that works pretty well, because as far as a pinch grip goes, it still gives you a balance point that's at or slightly in front of your pinch grip, which makes the knife have a little bit of mass, to it as far as the feel of it, and gives you a little bit of chopping power. Even though the thing's only 4.4 ounces, you feel like you do have a little chopping power there. So that's pretty cool. So as I just mentioned, the handle is very light. It's an oval Howood with black plastic ferrule. It's not a D shape, which is cool, so it's ambidextrous. These ferrules are like a sleeve that come over the top, so there's a little bit of a step there between the wood and the ferrule where they've got to slide that sleeve in. That's pretty normal. They do a nice job on these of putting some kind of cement or glue or epoxy on the face of the handle where the tang comes in, so that's sealed up nicely. Circumference is about 75 millimeters, around 3 inches here where the ferrule would meet, and pretty standard size. So let's get a close-up look at this. So generally speaking, the hairline means brushed finish, and it's usually horizontally or longitudinally finished. So what's cool about that, it's something a little different. And also, besides the aesthetic, when you clean a knife and wipe it down, you're typically going with the blade. And so if you have scratches, they'll develop in the same direction as the finish and help hide those scratches. That's a little cool side benefit of it. Let's see if we can get a nice view of the knife here. So you've got hand-chiseled kanji, which is a cool addition at this price point. Very nicely done, nice and crisp. You can feel it when you run your finger across. You've got this core steel showing out from the cladding. You've got a faux kind of a kasumi finish here on the blade road where the grind starts. And then these are fairly thin at the edge. I was pretty impressed with the performance of this knife. It's a very, very nice performing knife. Fit and finish is really quite good. You've got just a little bit of sharpness on the corners on the spine, but a lot of people may not even notice that. The choil has been relieved a bit on the corner, so that's pretty comfortable. Out of the box edge is kind of on these. It maybe a 4 out of 10. So I'd say they probably need some sharpening. If you don't sharpen, pay for the Chef Knives to Go finish sharpening service, and you'll be astounded how sharp this knife will get with this Shidogame number 2 on there. I always recommend having the finish sharpening service done. Pay for that if you're not a sharpener, because it'll give you a great reference point for just how sharp a knife can get, or a particular knife and steel, and also what a good clean edge will do in terms of edge retention, how long it lasts. So it's just a good frame of reference for you to have. Here is the profile on the cutting board. So you can see it's fairly curvy. It does have a little bit of a stop towards the heel. There's a slight back belly on the very, very end of the heel, the chin there. but you've got a little bit of flat there it flows into, and then kind of an upsweep belly towards the tip. The tip is fairly low in relation to the center line, but I can get in that area there fairly high actually on a rock for this length of a blade. So this rocks pretty nicely. It's pretty smooth. Should work for push-pull cuts, maybe a little bit of chopping using the heel. But overall, just a pretty impressive little package. So if you're looking for something, and these might have lacquer, I think these usually have lacquer finished on there. So if you notice it doesn't react very much when you first start using it, or the lacquer starts wearing off right at the edge where you're cutting things and getting the friction there of wearing that down, and you don't notice a lot of patina, it's probably got lacquer on it, and you can either let that, it's food safe, so you can let it roll and just wear off normally, or if you want, you can get some acetone, nail polish, whatever, and clean off that acetone right off the bat and start a patina on it, your choice. But nice, impressive little knife, and performance is great. If you're looking for something that's easy to sharpen and kind of a little bit longer style bunka with an interesting shape to it, it's a pretty cool knife. So this is the Okeya Shitogami No. 2 Hairline Bunka 1 85mm knife.